I never wanted to tell you goodbye, my love. This is footage of the popular rock and roll group known as Chromatic Fiction, performing at a sold-out venue in London in the year 1979. However, this was the band's last performance and perhaps their most popular show. The reasoning for this being their last public appearance was due to their mysterious breakup in the early 80s. I've recently had the pleasure of meeting the band's former drummer, Oliver Lottie, and lead guitarist, Poppy Miracle. Join me today as we discover more about Chromatic Fiction's origin and the reason behind their breakup in this installment of Rock and Roll Icons.
So John and I, and by John I mean Johnny Switzerland, grew up together, went to school together, inseparable as children. We always bonded over music, so by the time we were like maybe 15 or 16, we decided we're gonna start a band. He could play guitar, he could sing, I played drums. We kind of just went from there, writing songs, trying to get booked at local venues, which hardly ever worked.
Johnny's uncle owned a recording studio. I went in one day to record my demo. Johnny and Oliver, they somehow overheard some of my unfinished work, and I guess they liked it. So much so they asked me to join their band as their guitar player.
Johnny and I were blown away by Poppy's work. I've still never heard anybody play guitar quite as good as her, till this day. Soon after, we had a few songs at our disposal. We started playing at local black-owned music festivals in London.
We were gaining a lot of traction. At the time, we were actually going by Johnny Lottie's Miracle. I know it was a stupid name, but it didn't stop the fans from loving our music nonetheless.
Fast forward to the year 1972, we were offered our record deal, which launched us into production of our first studio album called Chromatic Fiction. Poppy, Johnny and myself hardly ever left the studio. There were no time for breaks in our work. I think it was during our first tour in the US. After the show, the owner of the venue came up to our bus. She described our performance as being surreal, like a fantasy, and that's kind of where the fiction part comes into play. You might have to ask Poppy about that one.
As you know, it was the 70s. The hippie movement was growing in popularity in the States. So during the tour, we were on LSD.
I think Poppy might fancy that question. There's a double meaning behind it. Like, there's also the chromatic scale in music.
I think 90% of our days were spent writing music or recording. We probably dedicated like a few weeks to each track in an attempt to make sure it was absolutely perfect.
Within the next year or so, we completed the album.
It was time to go on our first tour, which was in America, and the rest is history.
We were on top of the world. The album was very well received. We could have went the rest of our career without having to make another one. It was perfect.
Touring was such an amazing experience for me. It felt so surreal. I just couldn't believe that we had just done so much in what felt like such a short period of time.
And I just loved to see Johnny get in that mode when he was performing. It was like there was no one else there, just him and the microphone. It truly felt like we were born to do this. Like, this is what we were destined to do in our lives. Vacancy, full stop. The fans loved that one as well. We could have won a whole show just playing that one track, and the fans would absolutely love it.
Definitely Vacancy. I absolutely adore that record.
A lot of people don't know this. Johnny suffered from a severe case of rockstar fever. We go to parties where people were using cocaine.
Johnny just became a different person. Soon he'd stop using just to party and have a good time. He became addicted.
We were very concerned for his health and well-being. He would respond to us in rage whenever we expressed our concerns for him.
We tried sending him to rehab multiple times and nothing was working. When our contract expired, me and Oliver chose not to resign in hopes of Johnny getting better, but it actually just made him angry.
Then it happened.
re-sign with the label? Are you mad?
We did it for you, Johnny.
Really? You did it for me?
Yes, for you. You haven't been yourself lately.
Yeah? Well, I bet the thousands of people who come from all over the world to my shows will beg to differ.
Christ, Johnny. Your shows.
I built this band from the ground up, and you both know it. So the fact that you two will try to sit here and convince me otherwise baffles me.
I can't do this anymore.
Oh, would you please shut up?
Have you lost it? Look at what you've done.
I am sick and bloody tired of the constant nagging.
I don't even know who I'm speaking to right now. We're friends, Johnny. I thought that meant something to you.
You mean nothing to me.
I thought she was dead. I didn't think Johnny was capable of doing something like that.
Oliver rushed me to the hospital. I have since forgave Johnny for what he did, but that night I did have to get 16 stitches. I can hardly remember any of it.
Do you currently have any way of contacting Johnny?
No, but I may know what he wanders about. This is unbelievable. This is the first time we've seen each other in ages. He usually wanders in this area, eating rubbish and whatnot. There he is right there. Johnny? Johnny? Johnny, wake up!
Poppy?
Johnny?
Poppy Miracle, is that you? Oh my god! Ollie, would you look at that? The old band's back together. What's going on here? What's this?
They're doing a documentary on chrömatic fiction.
Yeah, the band that you let descend into nothing.
You should have resigned, Ollie. You really should have. But hey, what do you say? We give the man a performance like old times, right? Right? Just a good old-fashioned chromatic fiction performance. What do you say, huh? Come on, guys. It's who we are. I mean, we're chromatic fiction. Come on. A performance. One more. Ollie. Poppy. Ollie, come on. Poppy. Oliver. I never wanted to tell you goodbye, my love. I know that I was wrong and you were right. I'm never gonna forget all those years together. And now I need someone to save me, baby. And now that you're gone,